Points dropped by Ajax over in the Eredivise as they could not outfox their nearest and dearest PSV. But what about AZ Alkmaar? Could they gain on the top two? We'll take a little look. Next. That's right, folks, back with you on the prediction show today. We'll take a look at match day number 25 out in the old Dutchlands, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, I say smash your subscribe and get bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Dutchy football related, world football related. We're all here. Ada Blader under the shader. That's right, boys and girls, as we try to see if Ajax become champions once again. We'll take a look at all of that in just 1 second. A big shout out to the Patreons. Yes, right, you know who I am on about. The VIP Band of Brothers. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for your continued support behind the bloody scenes. If anyone else is out there and wants to support this crazy Band of Brothers right here, check out the link down below. Patreon.com/Roverseas. It's all there for your leisure, brothers. Also, right here, we have got our latest picks right there. Let's get into it, of course. Take a look back at how we all got on this past weekend. Of course, the final whistles have just got, they're still ringing in my ears. But let's take a little look at it then, shall we, of course, picking apart the games. Of course, we had a bit of an extended match week. A couple of games in midweek between, first and foremost, Willem II up against ADO Den Haag, Shaquille Penis on the score sheet for, of course, Den Haag from the player spot. Mike Trusser as well from the player spot, giving them the share of the sports. Jordan Peters and Tomislav Gumelt got themselves sent off, so both sides ended up with 10 men in an all draw on that one. I actually went with a 2-1 win for Wilhelm. But unfortunately, I was wrong. Meanwhile, Groningen against Feyenoord ended up all square. Nothing to see here. 0-0 in the bloody end. So into the weekend fixtures we went, though. PEC Zwolle got themselves a big old winner against FC Heerenveen. Mitchell van Bergen giving the Heerenveen the lead before Virgil Michigan, Thomas Pukin, Bram van Polen, and the LA Rangers on the score sheet, giving Zwolle a big important win there for them. 4-1 win over them, of course, climbing the table. Move the bloody chains, indeed. 2-1 for me going in favour of Heerenveen. I think a lot of us went that way. Meanwhile, Utrecht against Emmen, the bottom club, and guess what? The bottom club won. Goodness gracious me, I think that's 2-2 now. That's right for FC bloody Emmen. Utrecht soccer shock defeat. There's Sergio Pena on the score sheet there for FC Emmen, making it back-to-back wins. Utrecht, though, lose. 2-0 for me going the wrong way. Den Haag, their week was a pretty shitty week, but a 0-0 draw for them of RKC Waalwijk. Nothing to see here. Actually, it weren't the 2-1 win for Den Haag. Shame on me. Meanwhile, VT's Arnhem took on VVV-Venlo in the Battle of the V's, of course. 4-1 win. Giacomo Giacomacanis got himself another goal for Venlo, but that was, of course, the highlight. Lewis Apenda, Rakali Bazoa, Sander Tronstad, and Armando Broja get the goals for VT's as they came out on top comfortably. 4-1. 2-0 for me. Meanwhile, Heracles Almelo against FC 20. My boys, Canadian Muscle 2-2 draw. Ishmael Azuli, Ray Vlet was on the score sheet with Danilo. Quincy Meng on the score sheet as well for 20, as they got a point out of that one. Actually, remember the 1-1 draw as well, so pretty happy with that. Meanwhile, Sparta, they took on, of course, Willem II. Of course, picked up a draw midweek, but they got a win this time around. 2-0 win. This was under Sunday's games. Chain only. Mike Trusser again from the penalty spot. Jeffrey Fortes got himself sent off, and the resulting penalty was converted by Mike Trusser. Big win for Wilhelm. Actually went with the Sparta win myself. Not too great. Meanwhile, Groningen against Sittard. Big win for Groningen as well. Good week, really. Picking up a couple of points there this week. The one and only goal for Groningen was, of course, Pablos Abraham getting the goal there for Groningen as they move, keeping to the top six. Sittard, of course, flying high themselves into 9th. Lost this one, but I got close to them. 2-0 in the end. Of course, the big one was PS Bloody V up against Ajax. All square in the end. 1-1. Actually, went with a 3-2 win for PS Bloody V. So it was close. Ekman Sahavian on the score sheet with Dusan Tasic. Late penalty there to give Ajax a share of the spoils. And of course, AZ Alkmaar, big winners again over Feyenoord. 4-2 in the end. Myron Brodu with a hat trick. Fantastic. Chin Cooper Miners as well on the penalty spot for AZ Alkmaar. Marco Sensi, Luis Senestra on score sheet for Feyenoord as they go down to 5th. Oh my goodness gracious me. I actually went with a 2-1 win for AZ. You double it, and guess what? You get a bang on the bloody nose. Got myself 5 picks out of 11, which is okay, which is not too bad, but it's not brilliant either. Of course, it's the table as it stands. As you look at it, of course, Ajax 6 points clear of PS Bloody V with a game in hand, of course. AZ Alkmaar breathing down the necks of PSV. VT's Arnhem back in the thick of things as well as of Feyenoord dripping off to 5th. The further table, Emmen, Den Haag, Wilhelm going down, but of course, back-to-back wins for Emmen. I've given them the belief that maybe they can climb out of this. Of course, we'll see how that pans out, though. Let's take a look at your picks then, shall we? Here's the criteria. 0 to 3, straight face game. 4 to 7, straight face game. And if you get 8+, You're bloody fast. Fantastic. Of course, here we go. Cody Cahoe, you did good, brother. You did bloody good. Olaji Ojo also did very, very good as well. Yannick Buster did bits. Russell Frost had a shocker. It's okay, though. Wilhelm Ultra Overmirror did good. Tom Stainer also did good. Olamaji Monday did alright. And Matt Gunner did bits of shit. Shepard, though, you did shocker as well. As did okay. Did okay. James PCFC, oh, great. You did great. Omar Esquivel had another nightmare, of course. Will Lars 123 did poop. Janik Safely also did shite. Gaming Charlie did poop. Jens van der Bol did shite. Lionel did ghastly. Jerome Lenders did good. And Ivan Stringer also did very, very well. But what's that done to the table? Let's have a look at it. Look at the guys. Janik and Jens van der Poel. Don't look at it. Don't look at it right now. But of course, if your name is Jerome Lenders, you got yourself 6. What did I get? What did I get myself? I got 5 or 6, something like that. JSBCFC are great. And of course, okay. Ultra also in the top 2, 3, 5, depending on how you look at it. But now, of course, what's that done to the overall leaderboard? Well, let's have a little look at it then, shall we? Of course, your kingpin still is Russell McFrosty, of course, kicking ass and taking aim for the 4 percentage point clearance over Omar G. Monday. Of course, Janet Buster in bits as well. The leader for this week, Jerome Lenders, he is nowhere to be seen, of course. But what about the rest of the chasing back? What about Lars 123? Where is he? Where is he? He's nowhere in there. Jerome Lenders is in the 20th, so he is making up some traction. I think the biggest winners this week was Ultra Overmura, perhaps. At least a couple of points on Frosty there. Okay as well, doing good as well. But of course, Ultra Overmura closing in on the top, of course, 2 or 3 spots there. Of course, moving on forward, of course, it is a bit of an extended match week. We've got the full fixture list this weekend. We've also got this Brucey bonus following that, so we won't be back until after this VVV-Venlo Sparta game. So let's get into it. Of course, take a look at this one then. Kick it all off with, of course, FC Emmen against Sparta. This will be on Friday, bloody night. Played the last 6, 3 for Sparta, 2 for Emmen, 1 draw, of course, last round. Emmen was a 2-0 win for Emmen back in December 2019. Sergio Pina as well on the score sheet, Marco de Leuve as well. Both penalty spot kicks to give FC Emmen the win. That was, of course, last round at this venue. Of course, this season they played each other at Sparta. Was a 2-1 win for Sparta. Duarte and Harodi on the score sheet with Miguel Agarantio. Get the goal for Emmen. Emmen, though, conceded at least 2 goals in 5 of the last 6 home matches, where Sparta have actually failed to win the last 6 matches. They come into this year, 3 defeats on the spin. That Sparta, meanwhile, back-to-back wins for FC Emmen. What about the old bookies odds on this one then, shall we, of course? Let's have a little look-see at it, of course. Where is it? Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh. Of course, I've got no bookies odds because I'm too bloody. I've got this one. FC Emmen is 21-10 for the victory. 23-20 is your away win. That is Sparta. 13-5 is the bloody draw. Of course, Emmen coming at you all the way down into 18th, but a win for them, they could go 17th. As for Sparta, they're down into, of course, 13th, but a win for them, they could go swallow in the league. That's right. I've gone with on this one a 2-1 win for Sparta. Despite FC Emmen's recent back-to-back wins, of course, I think they'll trip up here and give Sparta the double. Next, of course, we have final take a look on VVV Venlo. They played the last 6, 4 wins for Venlo, 4 wins for Feyenoord, 1 win for Venlo, 1 draw, of course. Last round in Feyenoord was a comfortable 4-1 win for Feyenoord. Tony Vienna on the score sheet, Robin Van Persie as well. Sam Larsen with the brace. Tino Sven Sucic on the score sheet, of course, for Venlo. They also played each other this season out in VVV Venlo. Of course, it was a 3-0 win for, of course, Feyenoord. Jens Toostra with a couple of goals there. Stephen Bourgeois as well. As for the recent record, Venlo have actually conceded 3 goals in the last 4 matches. Feyenoord, though, undefeated in the last 20 home matches. Of course, heading into this just without a win, though, in 4 games in all competitions for Feyenoord. Of course, just 1 win in the past 5 for VVV up against Nijmegen again out in the old Dutch Cup. I've got no bookies odds, so of course, heading into this one then, Feyenoord sit in 5th, but a win for them, they could go 4th. The VVV are just above the drop zone, but a win for them in 15th. They could go as high as 13th in the tier, but they ain't going to get the win, though, here. Feyenoord will comfortably come out on top with a 2-0 win to put 3 points in the bag. Next, of course, we have 20, my boys, up against Willem II, who are struggling themselves. They show the last 6, 2 wins to 20. 3 for Wilhelm, and of course 1 draw last round in Enschede. That's out in 20. It was a 1-0 win for Wilhelm back in October 2019 with fans. Marius Vaduse on the score sheet for Wilhelm. They also played this season in Wilhelm as a 3-0 win. Brada for, of course, Twente with a couple of goals there for Danilo. Jaden Osterwald got himself a goal as well. Meanwhile, Wilhelm have actually lost 7 last 8 away matches, whereas 20 have actually won the last 8 at home. Wow, just 1 win in the past 6 games for 20. That was against Vieties Arnhem on the road. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 4 games for Wilhelm. That was against Sparta just the other day. No bookies odds, of course. 20 coming at you and in 7th, but a win for them, they could close in on 6th. Whereas their opposition, Wilhelm, are all the way down into 16th, but a win for them, they could close in on 15th in the table. I think 20 will nick this one, though, with a 2-1 win. 3 points in the bag over in Enschede. Of course, next up, of course, Heerenveen up against Den Haag. They played each other the last 6, of course. 2 wins for Heerenveen, nothing for Den Haag. 4 draws, including a draw last round in Heerenveen. It was a 2-2 draw back in February 2020. Around about this time last season, of course, Joey Verman on the score sheet, Anna Haliovic as well. Omar Bogle on the score sheet, Rodney Congolo as well with big fat OG. That was, of course, when Pardew was in charge. Of course, they played each other this season out in the Den Haag, of course. It was a 1-1 draw back in November. Daniel Lennart Philippe on the scholarship with Joey Verman once again. Heading into the Den Haag have actually failed to win their 17 of the last 19 away matches, brother, of course. But heading into this, just one win in the past 4 games for ahead of me. That was against Feyenoord. Of course, just one defeat the past 5 for Den Haag, and that was against Sittard. But however, those other 4 games were draws. Look at the bookies odds on this one, of course. Den Haag coming at you down in the old drop zone. Bit of win for them. They could go as high as 16th, whereas their opposition, Heerenveen, they're all the way up into 10th at the moment. Bit of win for them. They could go 9th. They'll get the win here against Den Haag, who are struggling. 2-1 win again for Heerenveen. Next, of course, we have Waalwijk up against Utrecht. They played each other last 6, 3 wins apiece. No draws last time around in Waalwijk. It was 2-1 win for Waalwijk back in, of course, March 2020, around about this time last season. Still a so on the score sheet down on Maston as well for Waalwijk with the W, of course, in the 2-1 win. Girano Kirk on the score sheet for Utrecht last time around. However, they also played each other this season. Of course, in Utrecht, it was a 3-1 win. Rather, of course, for Utrecht. Mimran Mahi on the score sheet. Girano Kirk once again. Sander van der Streek as well. Vitaly Damaskin on the score sheet, of course, for Waalwijk. Heading into this, though, Waalwijk keeping a clean sheet in the last 3 matches. Waalwijk also undefeated in the last 5. Both home and away. They come into this, unbeaten the last 5, picking up 2 wins in the past 3. The rest have been draws. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat in the past 5 games for Utrecht. That was against Emmen. A shocker, of course. Prior to that was a back-to-back wins. No bookies odds, of course, heading into this one. Waalwijk coming at you all the way down to 14th, but a win for them, they could go 12th, whereas the opposition, Utrecht, are all the way up to 8th at the moment, but a win for them, they could go 7th, depending on what goes on with FC Twente. I've gone with the 1-0 win for Utrecht on the road, get the 3 points and move the bloody chains. Next up, of course, Ajax, the flying highers, up against, of course, Groningen, a sticky wicket. Played the last 6 forwards at Ajax, 2 for Groningen, no draws. Last time around in Ajax was a 2-0 win for Ajax, of course, back in September 2019. Lula Sandro Martinez in class, Jan Huntelaar on the score sheet for Ajax, of course, Django, one man done, got himself sent off for Groningen. Have also played each other this season in October in Groningen. It was a 1-0 win for Groningen. Remco Balk on the score sheet, of course, Groningen giving them the W. Ajax actually won 20 of the last 24 matches at home. They've also scored at least 2 goals in 9 of the last 11. Meanwhile, heading into this, just 4 wins in the past 5 games. Of course, they drew with PSV just the other day. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat in the past 6. For Groningen, that was against Heracles all the way back at the end of Jan. Look at the bookies odds. We've got none of those. Of course, Ajax are top of the pops, and they'll be top of the pops no matter what. Even if they lose 25,000-0, they'll still be top. Of course, as for the opposition, Groningen come into in 6th, but a win for them. They could go 4th in the bloody table. Of course, that's bloody dizzy heights. That's Europa League football right here, right now. I've gone with a win on this one for Ajax comfortably as well. 3-0 win, brother. That's right. Next, of course, we have Fortuna Sittard taking, of course, PS bloody V. They played each other in the last 6. It's been 6 out of 6 for PSV. Nothing for Sittard, of course. The last time they played each other in Sittard, there was a narrow win for PSV back in, of course, August 2018. Having Lozano on the score sheet, Dante Grigo as well, and Novakanovic on the score sheet, of course, for Sittard. Heading into this, though, PSV have actually undefeated in 25 of the last 28 matches, also scoring 2 goals in at least 6 of the last 7 away matches as well. They come into this, just 2 wins in the past 6 games, but unbeaten and just 1 defeat in the past 5. On the flip side, 4 wins in the past 6 games for Hercules. What am I saying, Hercules? I mean Sittard. 4 wins at the past 6 games for Fortuna Sittard. Absolutely impressive stats, of course. Heading into this, though, Sittard sit, where are they? Well, they're up to 9th at the moment, but a win for them, they could go 8th, whereas PS bloody V is 2nd. A win for them, they could close in. They could close in on Ajax to just 3 points, depending on what goes on with their game, of course. I've gone with on this one, a win for PSV, even though Sittard are a difficult unit to beat at the moment. Meanwhile, Hercules Almelo taking on, of course, PSC Zwolle, of course. Played for the last 6, 2 wins apiece, and 2 bloody draws. Hercules coming into this, conceding at least 2 goals in the last 3. Of course, heading into this, of course, Hercules, what's their recent record? They're all the way down 11th at the moment, of course, without a win in 3. As their opposition, PEC Zwolle, they're all the way down into 12th, actually just beneath them. Just 1 win in the past 6 games for them. Win for PEC Zwolle in 12th, they could go as high as 11th. As for 11th place Hercules, a win for them, they could go as high as 9th in the table. This one's difficult, but I go with Hercules on this one to get at least a point. 1-1, a 0-0 in the end. And into the final game for this major match day here, VT's Arnhem up against AZ bloody Alkmaar. Let's take a closer look at this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other the last 6. 1 for VT's, 3 for AZ Alkmaar, 2 bloody draws, brother. Of course, last time around, VT's was a 2-1 win for VT's back in, of course, September 2019. Tim Matavets on the score sheet with Matthias Berro getting the goals for VT's. Meanwhile, Team Cooper Miners on the score sheet for AZ Alkmaar last time around. Of course, they played each other this season. I was in AZ and Alkmaar. Of course, Jesper Karlsson, Miriam Bodu, and Ferry Dudrifi on score sheet for AZ. Lewis Openda on the score sheet for, of course, VT's. Heading into this, though, Alkmaar scoring at least 2 goals in 11 of the last 13 matches, also undefeated in the last 13 on the road. Of course, heading into this, 4 wins on the spin, both home and away in all competitions, of course, for AZ Alkmaar. Meanwhile, just 1 win, 2 wins actually in the past 5 games for VT's Arnhem. I'll look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have for the bookies odds? No, we don't have any bookies odds, but of course, heading into this one, VT's coming into this in 4th, a win for them. They could close in on 3rd, and sitting in 3rd is AZ Alkmaar. A win for them, they could go 2nd in the bloody league. That is true, of course. However, what do I think on that one? I'm going to go with, on this one, a 2-1 win for AZ Alkmaar in the end. It is a previously bonus one for you coming at you on, of course, the 9th of March. It will be VVV up against Sparta, of course, over in VVV. So that's Tuesday the 9th of March, of course. Played each other last 6, 1 for VVV, 3 for Sparta, 2 draws. Last round in Venlo was a 3-0 win, but for, of course, Venlo. Clinton Lehman's on the score sheet, Tarek Tusadal, Vito Van Kruji as well. Julian Chabot got himself sent off, of course, last round in Venlo. They also played each other this season in Sparta. It was a 4-1 win for Sparta. Halli, was it this season? Scrap that. That was last season. This is a bit of a catch-up game. Of course, Venlo coming into this conceding at least 3 goals in the last 4 matches. Also, Venlo losing their last 4 matches. Coming into this, just 1 win in the past 3 games in all competitions. It was in the Dutch Cup against Nijmegen. Of course, as for the opposition, it is Sparta. 3 defeats on the spin for them, and they'll probably lose this other one. Have I got them losing? I've got them winning. I've got them winning against FC Emmen. I've got VVV and Venlo losing on this one as well. A win for, of course, Sparta. In fact, back-to-back wins. They could get 6 points on the agenda here. They could go as high as 11th. As for Venlo, if they were winning both of them games, one against Feyenoord and against Sparta, they could go as high as 12th in the table. But I think this one's going to end up all square 1-1 in the bloody end. And that's what I think will happen in this match day. Of course, be sure to get your picks in nice and early. And if I'm right, the table will look like this at the end of it. It'll be Ajax, of course, 6 points clear over PS Bloody V. AZ Alkmaar up to 3rd, or remaining 3rd, and Feyenoord back up to 4th. At the foot of the table is Emmen and Den Haag going down with Willem II in the discussion at the moment. It looks like it's between those 3 that will go down. But that's what I think. Be sure to get your picks in nice and early for this. Of course, to keep the prediction alive, keep on moving on. Of course, that's all what I've got. Be sure to get your picks in. And again, give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. We'll do it all again very, very soon, brother. But until then, I'll see you all soon. Take it easy, mask up. I'll see you all next time.